This talk is about. I've been building software in Python for a little bit over 10 years from now, or 10. It's been a little bit over 10 years since I started programming in Python. About a year and a half into that process, so this was at the end of 2009, I started to get involved with the open source world. So I was working in a financial firm. We decided to open source the library that was just then began to be known as Pandas. And at that time, it was a really small project. Pandas has become a really big project, and most of the development of Pandas has happened since after it was initially open source. At that time, I didn't know very much about what it meant to build open source software. I didn't know about building communities, or how to make decisions in public. So over the last 8 or 9 years, I've been learning a great deal about all of the good things and bad things about building open source projects. And as time has gone on, those challenges have evolved, particularly as things going on in the world of business and the business's relationship with open source has changed a great deal in the last decade. So I guess a subtitle for this talk would be community-led open source and you, and I will explain what I mean by community-led open source and why you should know it and how to distinguish different kinds of open source projects and how sort of think about them and talk about them with each other. Called Apache Arrow, which you can read more about on the internet, but the basic idea is that we're building shared infrastructure for data science to make projects like Pandas faster and more scalable. We're building libraries that can be used in many different programming languages. So Python, we'll be building R bindings for Arrow. We've got JavaScript and Rust and Ruby and C and Java, and there's a ton of stuff happening. So we're raising money to hire full-time open source developers for Apache Arrow. The team is embedded within RStudio, which is a company that's which is interesting. It's an R-based company, but we formed an alliance to build infrastructure for data science. So one thing I often, when I talk to people about, giving time or money to open source projects, it helps to have success stories. And, generally, only good things happen when projects get, in my experience, only good things happen when projects get funded. The most common case is that projects don't get funded, and so you never get to see what might have been. So just as an example, someone I know in the Python community, Nathaniel Smith, he's done a lot of work on statistical computing in Python. If any of you use stats models or the Patsy project, he created Patsy and has been involved in stats models and many other projects. But Nathaniel was funded by the Berkeley Institute for Data Science in California for 2 years. So a single person funded for 2 years, and he was able to undertake, work full-time on scientific projects for Python, and he had four big projects and was able to make, a huge impact as a single individual. And so it's, when you hear about, individuals making so much impact, I think about what it might be like if we had, the ability to fund 10 times as many people or 100 times as many people to dedicate their efforts to making the software better. So I think we'll get there eventually. Thank you for your attention. So I hope this gives you some things to think about, and I'm looking forward to to working with all of you over the coming years to build better software for data science. Thank you.